So I set out to make sweet potatoes into tacos, and then thought, why don't we make taquitos with black beans and sweet potatoes?
And a cilantro lime crema for dipping.
So, to start with, you gotta have a sweet potato. How much sweet potato we got here?
We got roughly half a pound.
Half a pound. And we didn't peel it. Keep the skins, it's fiber.
If you want to peel it, that's all you.
Yeah, feel free. I want this to be cubed up. So what I'm gonna do is make like rounds, only about ½ inch or so. See, like that? Because I'm gonna put it in the chopper. You'll see what I mean in just a second. And that joke is gonna happen forever. I hope nobody gets mad at me because I think it's hysterical. I've been saying it around the house forever.
It's the simple things in life, ladies and gentlemen.
You saw how much work that was, right? Now watch this. This thing is awesome. We'll have links to it in the description. But basically what it is, it's that. And it just chops it and drops it into here. The best part is that it has a receptacle. That's not the best part, but it's one of the best parts. And I just fill it all up with the pieces. You know, play a little Tetris with the
sweet potato Tetris.
Yeah. All of it, just like that. Put it on there, and then take out your frustrations, and you end up with perfectly cubed sweet potatoes. That's why I love this thing. Here's how complicated this is. No seasoning, no nothing, just in the air fryer. Now, scoop it out, scoop it out. You can do it. Scoop them, scoop them. Violence is not always the answer. Sometimes just scoop it. All right. Just want to shake them up a little bit. I'm going to put these in the air fryer at 400 degrees for about 5 minutes and then check on them.
Next is a large jalapeno.
If you want to take the seeds out, feel free. You know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to put it in the chopper. It works for everything. And now this makes a little bit larger piece of the jalapeno, but I'm okay with that. See? Done.
I guess you're going to want to chop the onion too.
Heck yeah.
So my notes say finely diced. And it also says half of a red onion.
I based it off of like those Gigantor red onions.
We got a baby.
This is a wee red onion, so I'm gonna use the whole thing. Does it say finely diced, really?
That's what my notes say.
Yeah, well, the chopper actually has a different attachment. I'm not using that today. You can.
As you can see, we're a little flexible with our recipe.
Well, I mean, yeah, how big you chop it is not the most crucial thing, you know?
I am having a bit of a love-hate relationship with onions, and so...
Raw, usually, though.
Yeah, so that's why I probably... Well, I know I wrote it because this is my handwriting, but I prefer the fine dice, so it just kind of...
It's chopped.
Goes away.
Okay, if it bothers you a lot, what we can do is this. Because I already chopped it once, and it's not small enough for her, what if... I just do this. Put it in a bowl and chop it again. Some of it's going to fall through, but quite a bit of it's going to get chopped up. Like that.
Okay.
I thought of that the other day when I messed up something that I wanted smaller. I mean, some pieces are small enough and they'll just go right through, and that's fine. The easier way is just use the smaller grate. At this point, I'm starting to wonder, did it save me any time over just using the knife? You know what it saved? I still have all of my fingers that I started with. And I got a little frustrations out. But it's much more finely diced now. See?
All right. That works for me.
There you go. All right. Our sweet potatoes don't just go to 11. They go to 13 because that's how many minutes these took. What I do is I put them in for 5 minutes, give them a good shake, check them. If you can pick it up, there should be like a little bit of crunch on the outside, but they should be almost like squishy. And yes, they're hot. I probably didn't want to do that. Set this to the side just a little bit and we'll move over to the stove for the rest of the cooking. All right, so I have my pan heating over medium heat and we're gonna put our veggies right in there. You should hear the sizzle, just like we did. If you don't hear the sizzle, your pan was not hot enough and things might stick. So that's kind of important. Here's where if you like to cook with salt, you can add a little bit of salt. I am not going to this time. I'm just gonna add some black pepper, fresh cracked, of course. If things look like they're starting to stick, that's when get out the veggie broth. Just a little bit, just a splash. That'll instantly cool the pan down. And then you can just keep stuff moving around. By the way, it already smells good in here. After about 2 to 3 minutes or so, add in a whole can of black beans with all the liquid. That's right, everything, all in there. And if you didn't get everything out of the can, scoop it out. You want all that stuff. There's a reason. All right, now I want to keep my pan on that same temperature. I have it on 6 on our stove. What I'm going to do is turn all that aquafaba, that's what that bean juice is, into a gravy that's going to act like a binder. It's going to keep everything together. There's a lot of good starches in there, and it just, I don't know, works really, really well. We've made tacos this way, and with all this other stuff in here, it's all just going to meld together beautifully. All right, now that I have it at this point, we can start spicing it up. Start with about a teaspoon of ground cumin, or cumin, however you happen to say it. A teaspoon of chili powder. This just happens to be plain old chili powder, nothing fancy, not really spicy at all. That's probably a little more than a teaspoon, but a teaspoon is what you really want to use. And then a teaspoon also of dried oregano. And again, when you're adding herbs and spices like this, it's to taste. You can put a little more, a little less. It doesn't really make that much difference. It's not going to make or break the dish. And now it smells even better in here. And last but not least, our sweet potatoes. Just right into that pan. What's going to happen is that little bit of a crust that formed on those sweet potatoes is going to soften up, and they're going to release a little bit of starch too into the gravy, and we're going to get this really nice homogeneous mixture that actually works really well together. This is where a good nonstick pan works really, really well. I love the Hexclad stuff. No, they're not a sponsor of the show. Yes, I really used my own money and bought them all. We have links below if you want to buy them. We do get a little bit of a commission if you do, but it doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps out the channel. Just takes about 5 to 10 minutes or so to really get that nice and thick. You want it to where you almost don't see any liquid left in the pan, and you'll feel it's all just kind of mashed together, kind of like a chili. It has a thickness to it that you really are looking for. Okay, this is looking really, really good. I'm going to turn the heat off and just let this cool a little bit because you kind of have to handle it. So you want it to be slightly less than, napalm temperature.
It's time to get saucy.
Right. So we did mention this lovely sauce that we're going to make. And to make this sauce, we need a couple of things. First, a blender. This happens to be our Vitamix. I love the smaller pitcher because that way I don't have to have as much quantity to put things in. But I do need some elbow room. Okay. First thing that I want to do is grab some Mori new tofu. Now, this is a silken tofu, but it's special, okay? And I'm not even exaggerating. I've had different kinds of silken tofus. Most of them leave a flavor that is
undesirable.
Thank you. That's a good word. I was going to say something else, but we're trying to be politically correct here, sort of. So I only need half of this, so I don't know why I got that out.
I don't know either.
Because I need this.
And you need those.
And I need scissors. Because here's how you open this stuff. First, we only need half the container. That's why.
I'm
All
helping.
right. I have to drain it first. So you cut off the tabs. Right? You just open up the
the
two
liquid's coming
right there.
out.
See the liquid coming out? But here's the ultimate secret trick. You open up one more on the opposite side. That breaks the seal inside here. Now you just cut straight across the one that you did the two. I can drain off excess liquid, but that's when I need the other thing. Normally I just do it right in the blender. I'll be totally honest. But because I'm trying to...
We only need half.
Yeah. There we go.
Ta-da!
And there's like no waste. Love that. But I only need half.
And you don't need a sharp knife to do this.
It's going to be interesting. If you're not having fun at what you're doing, you should be doing something else. I'm just going to kind of eyeball that. There we go. That was almost elegant.
Almost.
Almost. I don't think I can do elegant. Okay. And this goes in the fridge. Use it for something else.
Yeah.
Next up is a lime. This happens to be a Rang Per lime from our very own trees. If you don't have those available, any lime will do. And cutting it in half because I'm going to use my other. This is one of my favorite kitchen gadgets. I got it a couple of years ago now, right?
Yeah.
Because it just works so perfectly. Very few things actually work as well as you'd want them to, okay? Like I had a potato ricer that sucked. I actually threw it across the room. I think I did it in a video a while back.
I think you did.
Different channel, but anyway. So I have that in there, and then I'm just going to give this a good squeeze. It doesn't. See, that's the thing. It doesn't squirt. She thinks it's going to squirt. It doesn't squirt.
I've squirted myself before.
Well, then you're doing it wrong.
Brian just has the magic touch.
And, you know, it's just perfect. And then you take that out and good to go. Need the whole lime. I know I'm making a big deal about squeezing the lime, but you know what? When the thing works good, you got to...
Simple pleasures. Enjoy them.
Exactly. Got to enjoy it. And that is a full lime juice. Lime is important. If you don't have access to lime, you could use lemon, but it's not the same. Okay. Next up is cilantro. If cilantro tastes like soap to you,
don't use cilantro.
Use parsley. It's fine. I put half a cup on the thing. I guess if I was to bunch this up like that, yeah, that's about half a cup. It's a bunch. I'm just going to cut it in half, though. Throw it all in. Stems and everything. You know why? This is a Vitamix. It's going to crunch all that. I was going to say something else. It's going to make that into a liquid emulsification quite easily.
We're also going to add 1/4 cup of water.
Yep.
And now we need some spices.
Oh, yeah? What do we got? Garlic powder and onion powder.
Da, da, da.
How much?
A teaspoon each, please.
Oh, just a teaspoon.
Yep.
Okay. And I eyeball this all the time. You've seen me do this before. It's not crucial. If you get 4 more grains of garlic powder in there, it's not going to end the world. That was onion powder, though, I think. Yeah, this is the garlic. Might have put 12 more grains of garlic in there this time. I don't know. I'm a rebel.
And then a full tablespoon of nutritional yeast.
Perfect. What's next?
And then we blend.
Just blend it until it's perfectly smooth, and it'll be this lovely, slightly green, creamy sauce.
Our sauce is done. So let's get this into a bowl.
Oh, it's like green goddess sauce.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that. As you can see, this is lovely, thick, and rich, and creamy, and incredibly low fat. I'll have all the macros for these things up. And before anybody thinks that we're going to waste any, no. We're going to get a spatula later and get more out, just for the sake of television. It's much more expedient to just pour a little now.
Now, ideally, you're going to want to put this in the refrigerator and let it cool down for a while, because blending, particularly in a high-powered blender, will heat it up.
Oh, that is lovely. I'd like to point out that we don't have any added salt in anything here today. So if you want salt, you certainly can, but we're trying to add so much flavors into them that you don't really need it. The first time we made this sauce, we actually used double the Morinu with the same amount of lime juice and cilantro.
Yeah.
This is better.
It is, totally.
But now, we need to talk tortillas.
Tortillas can be a giant pain in the tuchus.
You want corn tortillas for this? I think you could do it with wheat, but I think corn is the appropriate choice.
All right, so we have a love-hate relationship with tortillas, and we found out through trial and error that there is a secret that will eliminate the madness. And you know what madness I'm talking about, when they stick together or they
crumble,
fuse to things, or they just crumble into a little oblivion.
Because these were in the fridge. They're warmed up a little bit right now, but they're not really flexible enough to actually work with.
Right. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put a single layer, 2 tortillas, on a paper towel or a tea cloth if you have one. Fold it in half. Do not spritz. Do not add moisture.
That's where we used to screw up.
And just put it like it is in the microwave for 15 seconds.
Okay. Let me go do that. 15 seconds later.
They are perfectly steamy and flexible, and they're not crumbly. It's perfection.
We're just going to make 2 for the sake of the show today.
And you want to work pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's
a lot.
That's okay. I'm going to let you do it.
When you're doing this, it's kind of like making a taco. You're not going to put a lot of filling in. And I find going all the way to the edge is my biggest mistake. Like, that's really about all I need in there. But because I'm greedy, I'm going to do a couple more beans. And then, it's really, really hard to do. You just take it, roll it over, pull this back a touch so it's nice and tight, just like you do for a burrito, and just make it roll again. And you leave it sitting on the seam.
Yeah.
See, I got greedy. Okay, let me do that again.
And this is why I suggest only doing 2 tortillas at a time. Obviously, we have a lot more mixture here than just 2 tortillas worth. But if you let them sit too long, that beautiful...
Before you fill them. That's what she's talking about.
Pliable fantasticness is going to go away. You're going to have to nuke them again.
Right. So what she's saying is nuke 2, make 2. While you're making those 2, have someone else nuke another 2, and then you can keep a cycle going. And roll that over, pull it back, flip it over. And some might fall out because, see, that's that whole center thing, because they sit kind of like this. It's just the way it is. But if you sit it any other way, it's not going to seal up properly. So you got to do that. When you put them in, you want to pick it up very carefully. See, it's dropping. Chef snack. And you want to place it on the seam, side down. Okay?
Yeah, if you have it kind of on the side, they're just going to explode, and you'll have a tostada rather than a
Exactly.
taquito.
And I'm going to put these in the air fryer at 350 degrees for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, they are perfectly golden and crispy and a little bit chewy, because that's the way they are. You know, it works. But I know one thing. These are really, really hot. So there is no way I am eating that at this exact moment. Well, maybe. I don't know. I burned my face last time.
Yeah, we both did. But they're so good.
All right, they've cooled a little bit.
We waited as long as we possibly could.
I can hold it in my hand, so gotta get a good dip of the sauce.
And
look at that.
We're gonna dip.
Yeah.
We would
married.
probably spoon this and put it on a plate and be reasonable, but we're just gonna dip.
I would dip it. I'm gonna double dip and triple dip too. But look at how it holds to it. That's beautiful. Wait, dunk it. Dink it. There we go. Has a lovely crunchiness on the outside. That cilantro lime. Oh, wow. Now, here's what's really cool about the inside filling. You got black beans that have this lovely richness and depth. And you got a little jalapeno for some heat, but then the sweet potato with the sweetness brings it back down. Oh, it's just...
The flavors in this make it seem like it was super complicated, but you saw what we did. It wasn't complicated at all. This is fantastic. Also, Brian had some words he wanted to talk about. Is what else you could do with this particular filling.
Oh, yeah. With this filling, makes good tacos. Originally, we were going to make tacos with this.
Yep.
And what I would do is take the corn tortilla, put some of this on it, add a little bit of red cabbage over the top, and some hot sauce. Now you're talking. You can put some of the crema on there, too.
Yep. You can use this as a hot topping for like a salad if you like a salad with hot toppings. I do. Brian doesn't so much. You can also bake a sweet potato and load it with more sweet potato.
Or a white potato. You can put this over rice.
Yep.
You can make a burrito.
Yeah. Anyway.
There's so many things you can do with this. Also, that mix should freeze well, too. So you can freeze it, use it however you want, put it in the fridge. It should keep for...
The crema, not so much.
Yeah, I wouldn't freeze the crema. Use that up. We dip pretzel crisps in it, and it works really, really well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is just an amazing dish. Also, I'd like to point out it's low salt and very low fat as well. I will have the macros up somewhere here or there. Or you might have already seen them. But they'll be on the screen. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. And we'll see you next time on
The Bistro.